Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samad. In this video, I'll be talking about the important documents that I provided for my application form, and hopefully you will find that useful and you can organize your documents according to whatever advice that I'm sharing with you today. Disclaimer, this information will not guarantee that you will get a spouse visa. I'm only sharing my experience and the process that I went through with you so that you know what to anticipate when you do your own application as well. With a UK visa application, you should provide as much detailed information as possible. Do not miss out any mandatory documents that you need to provide. FYI, I actually made a documents checklist on Google Excel. If you need any help kind of like organizing your own documents, hopefully this Excel sheet can actually help you. The link is in the description box below. You can actually open it up, and then if you want to use that Excel sheet as a checklist, you can just copy that Excel sheet onto your own Google Excel, and then you can edit it as much as you want. Hopefully you'll find that helpful. Okay, these are the documents that I provided for my application form. The first section is mandatory documents. Number 1, passport. Number 2, UK visa photo. Number 3, printed online application form. Number 4, Appendix 2 VAF4A. Number 5, IHS confirmation email with reference number. Number 6, receipt for the paid visa fees. Number 7, copies of my passport. Number 8, English education certificates, so my transcripts, my letters, and my degree certificate. Next one, tuberculosis test results. And then sponsor letter, so a letter from my husband stating that he is indeed my husband, and all the details about applying for a UK visa and him being the sponsor for me. Next one being the biometric appointment confirmation letter, which proves that you actually booked a appointment with VFS Global. And then the last one is the UK spouse visa documents checklist, which you should have received after you paid your UK visa fees. The next section of the documentation is proof of relationship. The first one that I provided is our marriage certificate. Your marriage certificate has to have an English translation. If there is no English translation, they will not accept it. It also needs to be accepted by the UK government, so you have to check if your marriage certificate is actually eligible and accepted in the UK. The next one is wedding invoices. So any invoices that proves that me and my husband actually got married and we actually had this ceremony that proves that we are now legally bonded. So my bridal dress invoice, his suit invoice, photographer invoice, flight ticket invoice, wedding cake invoice, all that stuff. Congratulations cards. So this is just proof of relationship. Me and my husband received wedding cards congratulating us for our marriage. So I took photos and I compiled them into a PDF, and I included that as my documentation. A document that is proof of relationship. So I have a whole PDF that's dedicated to showing that me and my husband have met multiple times and that we've traveled the world together. I've put dates, I've put the description, and I've put the location where we actually met. Travel activities. Documents of your travel activities is also quite useful. So like any travel activities that you did together, and if you have any receipts, like for example, me and my husband went to Chiang Mai and we went to the elephant sanctuary. So I printed like the receipt to prove that we actually did this together, and there's the two of us paying for this together to get this experience. So I also provided 1 year of WhatsApp conversations. I didn't provide like all of the conversation because I think that's really unrealistic and a bit messy. I selected like 4 screenshots from each month for 1 year, and I actually compiled them in a PDF properly to show that there is a conversation happening, to show that we are sharing our love verbally through WhatsApp and sharing photos and things like that, just to prove that we are in communication for that length of time, basically. So for this section of the documentation is called proof of employment and finances. The first one is a letter from your employer. The second one is payslips, at least 12 months worth of payslips. The third one is bank statements, also at least 12 months of bank statements. And employment contract. This isn't necessary, this is actually optional, but I wanted to provide it just to prove that my husband actually works in the company that he works in. Just an FYI, my husband actually changed jobs this year, so we actually provided double the information because we just wanted to prove that his change of job didn't affect minimum requirement for the annual income. It is being reflected in the employment letters that we provided, and it's also being reflected in the bank statements and also the pay slips. Okay, so I completely forgot to record this for the video, so I'm just gonna add this section right now. The fourth part of the documentation that we added is called proof of accommodation. The first thing that we added in this section is letter from the property owner. Our property is owned by my husband's father, so we got him to write a letter with all the information with regards to the actual property itself, about him owning it, about, you know, all the details necessary to prove that the property is owned by him and that my husband is living in it and I'm going to live in it. The second one is utility documents, so utility bills like electric bills, gas bills, council tax. That's really important to show that my husband has been living in that property and also that he has been paying bills and tax regularly. The third one we added was a copy of the land registry. So before the property was bought, we actually got like the huge land registry, so like the plan of the whole area, where the location is, all that stuff. The fourth thing that we added was the environmental health report. So before you actually buy a property, you will get a home report that will tell you about like the condition of the building, how old it is, you know, when it was built, all that stuff, like the history of the building basically. And the last thing that we added was actually photo evidence of the accommodation itself and of the property itself. So I got my husband to like take photos of all the rooms in the property, and I compiled them into a PDF to prove that there is a property that I am able to live in alongside my husband. So all of the documents that I actually mentioned in this video needs to be uploaded in a third-party website, which is the VFS Global website. And these all need to be uploaded before your biometric appointment. All the documents have to be under 5 MB. Make sure you compress them. Here's the website that I use to compress all of my files in case they were above 5 MB. The link is in the description box below if you need to use that. Yep, that's all for the documents. In the next video, I will be talking about the tuberculosis test and the process that I went through in KL. If you don't require this, you don't need to watch that video. You can actually skip to the next one, which is about the payment process and how much things cost. Stay tuned, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.